Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and as Wikileaks remains as relevant, if not more relevant than ever, not only in light of the uphill battle they're fighting with Assange, which we're going to get into in a moment, but in their publication this week of yet more OPCW leaks that we are seeing in this country a complete and total blackout about. No CNN, no Fox News, maybe Tucker later today. I don't know. He's the only one that's covered this story at all in any length in the United States. And even the European media, for the most part, has not reported on this. Kudos to the Daily Mail and Peter Hitchens for reporting on this. So we're going to get into the OPCW leaks. But first, we're going to illustrate how now we are in the middle of December, and Assange should not be behind bars for any reason, yet he is, and he's not even allowed to see his own documents. While I believe it's over 60 separate doctors have now signed documents saying, hey, he could very well lose his life in prison. He needs to be moved immediately, and that's being ignored by just about everybody in the mainstream media. So we're going to get to all that right now. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been blocked from seeing key evidence from U.S. authorities who want to extradite him for leaking sensitive military data, court hears. So just so everybody understands, and this article is actually very fair because it shows how he should not be in jail. However, they don't make that point, okay? The Americans want to extradite him to U.S. soil so he can be prosecuted for conspiring with Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning for leaking classified documents. Now, I did the Action for Assange Chelsea Manning broadcast yesterday with Steve, Andrew, Taylor, and Christy, as well as Ron Placone. And I forget what the other young lady's name is, forgive me. But it was a good, nice little roundtable discussion about how important, whistleblowers like Manning are, right? And then how important an outlet like WikiLeaks is to get that information to people so they can understand about the abuses at these black sites and Abu Ghraib and the C-130s blowing up journalists on video. These are important things. If we want to even have, the joke of a democratic constitutional republic where freedom of speech is at the helm of those institutions. I mean, seriously, right? The fourth estate needs to stay intact, and they're not reporting any of this. So he's being held in a high-security jail, that's Belmarsh, ahead of a full hearing in February when he will fight extradition to the United States, where he faces 18 charges, including conspiring to hack into a Pentagon computer. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Conspiring to hack, never hacked into anything. Never. Remember, when you read that actual indictment, what are they talking about? Well, he put out a cash prize for documents. Oh, he was conversing with Manning via email and messaging and trying to get Manning to get the correct passwords. Come on. Gareth Pierce, representing Assange, said, the summary case which we have prepared is a dense document. Mr. Assange has not been given what he must be given, and we are keen to go through this to the best of our abilities to keep with the requisite or the requests of the court. So, I mean, this is, can you imagine the defense they're trying to prepare against the Leviathan that is the military-industrial complex, that is the predator class? And, Assange has no access to this documentation. He's being held in Belmarsh, really without any kind of charge. He shouldn't even be extradited to the United States. Meanwhile, Australia, where he's from, is doing almost little to nothing to help him. There are some vocal people out there in and out of government, former government officials that are trying to raise their voices, but they suffer from the same problems we do here. Okay? It is predicted on the underlying evidence that Mr. Assange has not reviewed. He's not allowed to review it. Last month, Swedish authorities dropped rape allegations made in 2010 against the editor. Now let's get into that. So the only reason he had to flee in the first place were these false rape allegations that, again, it was an means to an end. They knew they tried to set him up with some media propaganda. They still tried to promote that when they kicked him out of the Ecuadorian embassy, that he was a slob. And I mean, come on. Give me a break. It's revolting. It's reviling. And then you drag a man out and illegally detain him for those allegations, supposedly, that are imagination land. No, it's on behalf of the military-industrial complex. To strike fear in those that would print these type of documents, that would raise their voice against the establishment. Assange had taken refuge in a small office converted into a bedroom in Ecuador's embassy since 2012 before he was finally evicted earlier this year, where he was being filmed by subsidiaries of the CIA on behalf of Sheldon Adelson, by the way, if you want to get into it. Private firms illegally recording the man, working with intelligence networks. He then jailed for 50 weeks to breaching bail on May 1st. Come on. Once again. And he served those 50 weeks. And guess what? They didn't let him out. District Judge Vanessa Abersa told Assange, I am now adjourning your case till next Friday, the 19th of December, when a case manager hearing will take place. So there's another hearing coming up on the 19th. Supposedly he's been Skyping in. But once again, I want to say this. It comes weeks after more than 60 doctors warned in an open letter addressed to Home Secretary Priti Patel that he could die in prison without urgent medical care. They expressed serious concerns about Assange's fitness to stand trial. When he showed up to trial, he could barely say his name. He was almost visibly in tears. You know, Pam Anderson says that she was threatened by the prison warden at Belmar, said he could make some trouble for her if she wanted to make trouble for him. It's sad when Pam Anderson is just about the only person speaking up for Julian Assange in this country. Where are the rest of you people out there? Where are the rest of the celebrities? Huh? Oh, it's not hip and trendy? It's not a fake Me Too movement where your dark overlord, Harvey Weinstein, gets off without even a slap on the wrist? It's not that? Oh, okay. I guess it's not important. It's only, freedom of speech for all of us. So, regarding this, I want to reiterate that they just released this on the 14th, a couple days ago. Went over it yesterday again with the Action for Assange crew. Make sure you type in Action for Assange on YouTube. You subscribe to them. You check out some videos I've done with them. They do great work. They're really the only other people out there trying to daily shine a light on this stuff. So now we've got all sorts of stuff. We got the first draft interim report. We got the memo. We've got the email raising concerns, etc. We had a previous dump where we got that OPCW email here. And then the first one where the leaked report clearly showed that they thought that the canisters were staged. Now, once again, almost the entire Western media blackout. Hitchens has now at least talked about this. Okay, and now at least the Daily Mail has a decent article about this. They don't want to give WikiLeaks any credit, but here it is. Here's what Assad did is terrible. Let's not forget this, man. Let's not forget that Ivanka Trump also, his daughter, used this as a reason to get her dad back into the Syrian conflict. This is the real deal. You can't just give him a pass. How are we not making the Trump administration accountable? They had James Mattis as the Secretary of Defense, telling Tulsi Gabbard then they had no evidence a chemical attack had even taken place. Those are the facts. And here we are. It's almost Christmas time. That happened in April of 2018. And we're still in that country. And there's no real talk of leaving. And even leaving that Syrian border, the Turkish border, they didn't leave. It wasn't an exodus. It's not a plan to get out of Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, and more, Libya, AFRICOM. It's none of that. Folks, if you like this video, please thumbs it up. Make people aware of what is going on with Assange right now. It's a real issue. I really don't think they want him to survive till that February hearing. Okay, I really don't. I really, really don't. I think they want him to die in prison as an example. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they want to go the full Monty, extradite him to the United States, and make just a total show. I mean, we got show trials going on in the United States right now with these articles of impeachment about to come up, right? With the impeachment inquiries. So maybe they want to go full board show and have a frail man with no defense up in front of everybody as a display. Sad. Sad day. Who's not a citizen of the United States, who's an Australian citizen, who couldn't possibly really commit espionage against us because guess what? He never came here. Never hacked anything. He's not a cyber terrorist. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, all available free right here in the playlist section. By the way, guys, you want to help me out? What I need you to do is go to my Twitter, @JasonBurmish, see the corner. Can't financially support me, that's great, I understand. Go here, please retweet this. Please like and retweet this thread that exposes yet another hypocrisy. The fact that Disney, WME, UFC, and the powers that be are covering up the vast amount of evidence that Conor McGregor brutally beat, raped, and anally sodomized a woman in front of people. Okay, it's a microcosm of how the establishment keeps information away from you because he's worth billions of dollars to the right people. You get it? That's a microcosm for what we're talking about of freedom of speech and everything else. So please go do that for me if you can. And like I said, like, sub, and subscribe. We're doing it 3 to 7 times a day here on the reg. We just did the 24 videos in 24 hours. Ended up being 26. I think 20 plus of those are great interviews. So go check those out as well. I got to GoFundMe. That's how you financially support me. And guys, you got to understand, the censorship is real. My Go Mayor video has still not been reviewed. It's still not been put back up. I've still been told nothing about these supposed misleading tags. I put Burmis Brigade in every single tag, every one. My name's Jason Burmis. You join the Burmis Brigade. That excuse is unacceptable. I put no real tags in there. Sacred Cow. That was what it was. I mean, the media refused to report the name that Gomer was saying. And Gomer goes wild as a tag. What are they going to fault me now for my Bitcoin address? That's, again, in every single one. So, again, selective enforcement, more speech being culled for you. I love you guys. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. I will see you later today with more videos on the flip side.